And welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. This is your man Warrior, and this is about Emperor's Demise. It literally just dropped as Yoda was ending, Emperor's Demise was starting. People wanted to know what this is about. It is an extremely rare event. However, when you click on enter, it looks exactly like the Yoda event. Of course, it requires Rebels instead of the Jedi, but there are, for a fact, 7 tiers. This was what I was suspecting. And you have to have, obviously, the same star or higher to enter that level. So you've got to have, you know, 5 7 stars, 5 6 stars, 5 5 stars, so on and so forth. And it starts, and you get so many shards for each one. And the way Yoda worked, you had to be able to do the first 5 tiers and successfully complete the first 5 tiers to unlock him. And then tier 6 got him to 6 star, and tier 7 got him to 7 star, is how it worked. The one thing I do like about these events is they do not come around often, but when they come around, you have a good chance to just pick up a brand new character. You can get some gems, and they give you some gold to upgrade your character. I know that, like, when I got my 6 star, the amount of gold was enough to level my Yoda up to 6 stars, and on the 7th star, they gave me 1,000,000 gold, which was exactly what it took to get my Yoda to 7 stars. So it's very nice that they have done this event. Emperor Palpatine is absolutely amazing. He has many techniques. One is called shock. A lot of people don't know what shock is. Shock is different than stun. Shock is very cool because it eliminates the opponent's ability to basically do any kind of buff. That's any kind of like healing or adding, you know, offense up, anything like that. It's going to prevent that. But the other thing that's very cool is it takes away any turn meter buff that's in there. So if you have other characters that will give additional turn meter to your characters, if they've been shocked, they are not going to get that buff of the turn meter. And we all know turn meter is critical. That's why so many people have gotten their characters up with speed. However, he is going to prevent that from happening. Now, what I thought was, when I heard about this event a couple of days ago, I thought that I was going to go ahead and build up my team, and I went and looked at my team, and this was really sad. I, of course, only been playing for a few months, looked at my required units, and really the only characters I had developed was Akbar and Leia, because they're in my arena team. I didn't have anyone else. So I spent the last 2 days trying to get Han and Luke up, as well as Biggs. I had Biggs sitting in here. I have Hoth Rebel Scout, Hoth Rebel Soldier, and Lando. And of course, Lando would be great for the Scoundrel event, and so I've started working on him, but honestly, I haven't cared too much about the Scoundrel event as far as developing characters, and I just really haven't spent much time on this team. The good news is this event will go for 11 days. That will take us to the end of the month, so that's why they did that, because at the end of the month, they're going to launch the new raid. Now, not a tip of the day, but kind of an information of the day. I am confident, I very well could be wrong. There's a good chance I could be wrong, but my best guess, and everybody thinks that this new raid, that the level 7 heroic version of it will include a character just like the other raid. And they're probably right, and that is my suspicion too. However, what I've heard from every video online is that they believe it'll be shards for this character, the Emperor Palpatine. I don't believe that. I actually believe it will be for R2D2. I think R2D2 will come out as a character that the only way you can get him is if you are doing the heroic level 7 tier raids. And so this is going to obviously conflict with some people in leagues, because for those leagues who do the heroic levels, everybody's trying to 7 star their Han Solo. And now when you add another character into the mix, there's going to be division as to which raid to do. R2D2, is he worth it? Or are we going to stick with the original raid? And the new raid is going to come out with, for what we believe to be level 6 and level 7 mods as well. So it looks like that will probably be the preferred of them, but for individuals who are really high up and maybe have a 6 or a 7 star Han, they probably won't care. But for somebody maybe such as myself who have not unlocked Han yet, that would be kind of a sad day, as I was looking a little forward to being the first one on my server with Han. Now, I did want to play what I could play. This will probably be pathetic, and I'm sure a few people will respond, your team sucks. That's okay. I'm making this video to show you where I'm at in this game, my development, and how well I did, so you can compare and contrast. If your team is better, you'll do better in this event. If your team is not as good, then you will not do as well as I will do today. We'll see. Stormtrooper Han is probably the only character that I haven't developed much that I get flack on, and of course the reason why I had not done him was because I use Sunfac, and I really like the abilities that Sunfac and Royal Guard have brought to the table. I didn't need Han, and then all of a sudden they added the Scoundrel tag and I needed Han just overnight. So I've developed him over the last 2 days. I've got him to gear 7. I've got Luke in the last 2 days to gear 6, and he's about to go to gear 7, and I am starting to farm the shards for both of those characters. Now, of the rest of these, Biggs is not my favorite of those, but he's just the strongest, so I went ahead and ran him to 77. But I really like Hoth Rebel Scout. I literally unlocked him a couple days ago, so I went ahead and got him to level 77, and I'm going to start trying to get him up as well, because I think that Hoth Rebel Scout, of my kit of who I've got to work with, Hoth Rebel Scout I believe is better than Hoth Rebel Soldier. And I think that even though Lando is amazing, he really has to be max geared and have all of his abilities up. And so what I've got to work with is Biggs, I've got Luke, and I've got Han Solo, and then of course my A team, my Leia, at gear 11 or gear 10, I apologize, and then gear 9, Admiral Akbar, who's stuck at gear 9 until I get to level 80 for his last raid gear piece that can fit in there. So I'm going to go ahead and try and see what happens. Again, the first time I did the event with Yoda, I got stomped on, and I didn't have many characters to go with. So you can see I've got only 5 characters, actually 6 characters over 5-star. So the only one that I'm going to be able to do is going to be these 5, or I could do my Hoth Rebel Scout, but he's just pathetic at this point. So I'm going to use what I have here. I do not know if it's a matter of just beating it. I believe it will be, so we'll just go ahead and battle and find out together. By the way, they launched a bundle pack that gives you a bunch of shards and all of that for Rebels. It was $40. If it's something that you can afford, if you haven't done any development, this is something you might want to take advantage of. If you have no money, you're free to play, then don't worry about it. There wasn't a ton in that pack worthy of purchasing unless you have the money and you really want to get a jump start on your scouts and things like that. There wasn't that many ability mods, ability Mark 1 or Mark 2 and Mark 3. There wasn't much in there. So we're just going to see how I do. I'm hoping that I can get through the first 5. If I can get through the first 5, I'll unlock this character. And we will just go ahead. It is one battle. And of course the first round is pretty easy. Awesome. I think about anyone can beat that level, even with some really low-level characters. They do get progressively harder, of course. And just like Yoda event, not everyone understands this, but once you complete Tier 1 or Tier 2 or Tier 3, you never have to go back and do that again. They only allow for you to do those tiers once, ever. And that is it. Even if you 1-star it, you can't go back and try it over. All right, this will be progressively harder. We'll see where we're at. Okay. Let's go ahead and finish these gentlemen off. And of course, Emperor Palpatine sucks early on when he's not leveled up. But a max level Palpatine would probably one-shot kill any of the characters you're looking at currently. Boy, that's quite a bit of gold. 100,000 is great. I love getting the gems as well. And they may have reworked this to where I have to do all 7 to unlock him. With Yoda, it was you had to get to 5 to unlock him. I don't know with him how it's going to be. But let's go ahead and find out. By the way, I'm not stealthing. Ooh, that was pretty wicked. I am not stealthing my Leia on purpose, and the reason why I am not stealthing my Leia on purpose is because I want her to be a target. She's way stronger than some of the characters in the back, And of course I want to keep these characters around for as long as I can in this battle, and so I haven't stealthed her so they can survive. So first 3 rounds, pretty easily. We're going to round 4. I think it gets much more difficult when we hit round 4 and round 5. I am going to look... Oh, he's 145. That's what I thought. I'm at 75 of 145. If I beat Tier 4, I get 100. And then I'm hoping Tier 5 gives us 45. And I'm pretty sure that's the way to work, as that's the way it worked for Yoda. We should still be able to beat this. I'm not worried about 3-starring it. Let the hate flow through you. Okay. Go ahead and take him out. Definitely stepping up their game with that. Got 2 stuns. Go ahead and... That was at the end of his turn. He has a special ability where anyone that was shocked takes additional damage. The only thing that's written in on that additional damage, because we don't know how much it is that it can't finish off your character. So if your character is about to die, it will not kill your character off. It will take it down to 1 life. So he can't kill them with that secondary damage he does at the end of turn. So here it is. I'm at 100. There's 145. Looks like, oh, and there we go. 500,000 credits. So I'll be able to actually unlock him when I get him. So let's go ahead and do this battle, and I really hope that I unlock him. And I'm not too worried about losing my characters. Let's see how I do. Absolutely hate when I leave that on. It doesn't sound loud at all to me, but I know when I play back, it's super irritating and annoying. And since this is a one-time event, I'm going to have to go with it, unfortunately. I apologize for the sound. You could always turn it down, I suppose, but... And we got 1. I was really hoping she would have done more damage. And I'm not too concerned about this. This actually looks like I think we will do this. We might, big maybe, might even 3-star. I was hoping for some negative effects. There was that end of turn damage. And let's see if Biggs can finish it off. Wow, so I did unlock him. That is pretty exciting. I will have a 5-star Emperor Palpatine to start working on. That's pretty exciting. I'm going to go ahead and try 6, although I don't believe I can do it because I only have a couple, 2 characters or 3 characters over 5-star. So let me look. Yep, I am only 3 out of 5, so unfortunately, I will not be able to max him out, and I highly doubt in the next 11 days I'll be able to get my Rebels to 7-star. That just seems very unrealistic when they're at 5-star. That's like 185 or so shards, so this is probably the end of it for me, but I do want to go take a look at my new character. Let's go ahead and go to the bottom. Activate. Woo! All right, this guy is ugly. Let's activate him. And I have the Emperor. Pretty exciting. All right, well, that was the video. This is Emperor Palpatine. Going through the basic abilities, obviously they're not going to be the same as when they're maxed out. They do a lot more when they're maxed, but I know that the Lightning Strike deals special damage, and it shocks them for, I believe, maximum of 3 turns, and he gets about 15% turn meter when this is maxed out. So this Lightning Strike is his basic. Now, the other thing about Lightning Strike that I found absolutely asinine is it's the 2nd most powerful basic attack in the entire game. So I know everyone's going to argue and say, no, Rey's the best, Rey's the best. No, Rey, her base attack, if you look under her basic attack under swgoh.gg and you go under attacks and basics and you go to look and filter who has the highest, she is actually like fifth in the line at like 5,500 is what her basic is considered. And you can figure out why that is another time, but his is over 6,000. His is almost number one. He's almost tied for the number one spot. So his basic will do basically more damage than any other character in the entire game on a outright shot. Now, obviously, Rey has a bunch of buffs. She self-offense buffs herself, and she does double and triple hits. And I don't believe the Emperor Palpatine has all of that, but the Lightning Strike's a pretty amazing basic. So that is cool. The Power of the Dark Side, I don't know what it goes up to maximum, but it says it'll deal damage to all enemies with a chance to stun them. I know that the stun percentage goes up and the amount of turns it goes up. And then also the shock, which you get from the first attack. Enemies will be stunned for 2 turns and their shocks will be dispelled. So it morphs. It goes from his basic Lightning Strike and hurting people and causing them not to be able to buff to then causing them to have to skip a turn. Let the Hate Flow is his way of self-healing. Essentially, he can heal himself. All allies will gain offense up for a couple of turns. I believe that goes up to 3 turns. And all units, and I believe all units is not all allies. I believe all units means every single character on the other side and on your side. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty positive it's all units. All units will lose 5% of their max health. That's a decent amount, especially if they're playing double tanks in the arena. All units will lose 5%, and then he will recover health equal to, and it goes up to, I believe, 150% of the amount lost. So if everybody loses 5%, put that into a pool, times it by 1.5, and that is the amount of health he gains every 4 turns. That is pretty insane. Also, for every shocked enemy, which he's shocking on his basics, multiple people potentially, he gains turn meter, and it refreshes the duration of shock until you decide to do the Power of the Dark Side. And the Power of the Dark Side, of course, changes it over from the shock to the stun. His leadership ability is pretty awesome. It gives the Empire and the Sith allies higher potency and higher max health. And the Jedi and Rebel, and this is actually at max because it says locked, they're showing the maximum. And it shows that Rebels and Jedi, which this is pretty bad, negative 23% potency, but negative 23% evasion. What is insane about this, and I actually think this does go up higher than this, I believe it said like 32% evasion down, is I don't know any other team out there that's got evasion over 30%. Maybe there is, but he basically nullifies all of the evasion teams. Obi-Wan has just become utterly and completely useless now if he's going against a team where this is the leader. And then whenever a Sith ally, so this is cool for Darth Maul and all the other Darth Sidious and all of them, whenever they deal a debuff during their turn, they'll recover health. So it naturally makes them self-healers. All they have to do is cause debuffs, such as Darth Vader, who constantly is debuffing the other team with healing immunity and damage over time, and all those debuffs that go over the characters. They're going to gain life. They're going to gain max health. That is 11% of their max health, and that goes up. That is nuts. Self-healing his team. So this basically becomes a healer. And then his unique is at the end of every turn, he does an additional damage. That special damage is to any of the shocked enemies, and then he deals special damage to all Jedis and Rebel enemies as well. So, of course, if you're playing Rebels, he's going to do it to everyone, but if you're not, you're playing a special arena team and you only have 1 Rebel and 2 shocked people, he's going to do damage, special damage to all 3 of them. This damage cannot defeat enemies. What that means is if your character is about to die, and he does this, it will take it down to 1, but it will not take your character completely out. I think that is cool just because he is already overpowered. I am sure there's going to be a bunch of Palpatines running around at 7-star today. They're probably going to be at gear 7 by, 2 days from now, 3 days from now, for any big whale who's got the money to go ahead and just buy right out of the store all the furnaces and things like that. The other thing about Emperor Palpatine that's absolutely insane is, like Yoda, he is ridiculously easy to gear. It is less than, I think it's 280 or 260 total gear parts to gear him up at only 2 raid gear. So, like I said, within a couple days, you're going to see a 7-star max geared character out there, and we're going to really see what it's about. Now, I will tell you, more than likely, this is the resurgence of a Sith team for individuals who've been really looking forward to using their Sith but haven't had a purpose. They finally got their Darth Vader up to 5, 6, 7 stars, but really don't see much of a purpose for him. He's very difficult to use in teams. He has kind of lost his edge, or had lost his edge, and not a lot of people use him. But this will bring back the Sith teams and the Empire teams. And of course, it's just one more character now I have when I'm doing the Empire mod battles, which is great. So anyway, I hope you love this video. Like it. You can subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. It was fun going to do this with you guys, and I am super stoked I was able to unlock Palpatine. I really hope that where you guys are at with character development, you're able to do the same and add one more tune to your list of tunes. And I really appreciate all of the feedback I've been getting, good and bad. If you don't like my videos, that is okay. I love, because I get feedback from you guys, to change things up. I'm always learning. Remember, these are opinions and whatnot. Be on the lookout in the next raid for more than likely R2D2 at the end, and keep your gaming on. Warrior out.